Hello, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be completing a tag video. I was tagged by Jon, so it's his tag, but the questions were created by the lovely Jackie, who's our good perfume friend over on Instagram. I've been tagged so many times in videos and I just don't get time to complete them or to tackle them. But I'm going to do this one. Some questions I really struggle with, but I'm going to do my best to get through them. So Jackie's a perfume enthusiast and we've got to know her over on Instagram. She's really smart, she's really fun, she's quick-witted, and she suggested a bunch of questions. Questions I think require a bit more thoughtful information and a bit of insight into sort of our understanding and enjoyment of fragrance. So thank you, Jackie, for these questions. I hope I don't disappoint, and if I do, I'm really sorry. I did my best. And thank you so much to Jon, who has tagged me. Let's begin on question one. What's the first perfume I ever bought? I really have never been into perfume that much. My understanding of perfume from a younger age, really up until my 30s, was something that generally gave me a headache. First ever perfume I ever had was Classique from Jean Paul Gaultier. I don't think I purchased it though. I only wore that because it was popular and because everybody else was wearing it. I didn't like it. My second experience of having a perfume, I think, was Kenzo Flower. And again, I can't remember why I would have picked that. My memory of it now is a very powdery floral. It wasn't really until I discovered a sweet type of rose perfume that I thought, well, I like this. This is something I actually enjoy wearing. And I can't remember which way round they go, but it was either Ghost by Ghost, the original Ghost, or it was Midnight Rose by Lancome. One of them two was my first experience of having a perfume that I actually enjoyed, that I thought suited me, as opposed to having a perfume you just pick up and put on as a last resort. But both Ghost and Midnight Rose, I think I purchased them both, and they're the first real experience of actually enjoying and loving a perfume. Second question, what is my most recent full bottle of perfume and have I worn it since? So here we have a two-parter, which is really interesting. My most recent full bottle of perfume, I almost don't want to talk about. So I decided to go for it and blind buy the most recent launch from Parfums de Marly. What can go wrong with paleting? What could possibly go wrong? Brand blurb around it is it's bold and inspiring, and that it's a beautiful purple smelling scent with matching bottle of violet and lavender and pear and some woody components. Have I worn it since? Hell to the no, I've not worn it since. Okay, you can see where this is going. I don't have it, I already sold it. This did not work out for me in the slightest. Now, yes, it may have all these accords or notes, inverted commas. I've read on Fragrantica, people are saying it's very easygoing, it's very simple, obviously not worth the money, but easy, an easy floral to wear. Which I thought, well, you know what, that's fine. I quite like an easy floral if it smells purple. The bottle is exquisite. They're probably the prettiest Parfums de Marly bottle that I've seen. I loved the purple glass. Doesn't matter about that. What they failed to mention in these reviews is the sodding Cashmeran overblast bomb that just hits you in the face, in your eyes, in your nose, in your brain, and then it just takes over everything. Not everybody is so sensitive to Cashmeran. If you are, then I would steer away from paleting. On first spray, I got this fluffy, warm, overbearing, gloopy, dry, molecule style smell, like a choke hazard molecule. I think Cashmeran is an accord. If you really sort of pick through the Cashmeran cloud, you can just about smell a bit of pear. I didn't get any violet, very disappointingly. I got a bit of lavender maybe. I didn't stick around long enough to figure it out because I just can't bear Cashmeran. It's the most disappointing perfume I've bought, I think. But it might work for some people. The person that bought it from me, she I think seemed to smell nice on her. They smell really sweet. But it didn't work for me, and that's my answer to that question. Question number 3. Which perfume / brand / material do you wish you tried earlier? So starting with the perfume, I've actually got perfumes here, so it's not going to be a boring table to look at the whole time. The perfume I wish I tried earlier, based on all the things that I do enjoy, I know I enjoy, is Eau Rose. Sorry, it's just the Eau de Parfum from Diptyque. This is very similar to many things I've had and have, but it seems to be the perfect sort of Goldilocks zone of those sort of scents. Like Liquid Love from Van Halligans, like Raving Rose from Dries Van Noten. They all had something that went too far in a direction that I stopped enjoying them. Liquid Love was too vegetal, that's how it was on me. Raving Rose, the pink pepper, was so overpowering and sharp and a bit abrasive that I stopped enjoying it. This one is vibrant and lively. It's a green rose. It does have spice in there, but it doesn't. It's a nice twinkling of spice. Okay, it keeps it alive. There's a lovely fruitiness from, oh God, my cat's about to eat a squirrel. Don't chase that squirrel. Nim. The fruit in here is lychee, which is a lovely, lovely pairing with a rose. So again, it's a lovely, fruity, sweet rose. And that's it. It's a green, sweet, fruity rose with a lovely bit of spice. It's all done in such a lovely balance. I don't remember when this came out. If I had found it sooner, I would have not wasted so much money on other perfumes I've ended up selling. Eau Rose, Eau Diptyque, Eau de Parfum, wish I'd found it sooner. The brand and material. There's two brands that I've started to really enjoy, and I can't say I wish I'd found them sooner because my nose, I don't think, was developed or matured enough that I would have appreciated them back then. Chanel is a house I've really started to enjoy this year, and my collection has exploded with Chanel. And with both Chanel and Serge Lutens, there's two brands that I'm starting to appreciate this year. So I could say I wish I'd found them sooner, but you know, I think things develop and progress as they should. And the material, I'm going to say patchouli on this one. Patchouli, my association of patchouli has always been that it's been a very cheap smelling, woody, bulking up material used in a lot of designer fragrances. It's used to make things smell stronger and more longer lasting and have a bit of weight to them, and it's never been done with much finesse. Not that I've smelt. They're always cheap and it's a bit bitter and a bit dry, so I've kind of written off patchouli for a long time. Actually, Coromandel was probably what made me really realise how nice patchouli could be, but there is a lot of scents I have now that have patchouli that I think are beautiful. They've just got to be done the right way, and they've just got to have a nice balance. It needs to be complementary against other notes, you know? So patchouli could have been appreciated a little while ago if I just smelt the right kind of perfume. Next question is, what is my perfume of shame? I think I've got these questions around the wrong way. Some of these I've written in the wrong order, so it might not be the next question, but perfume of shame, I don't think I have a perfume of shame in the sense that everything I've got I enjoy, therefore it has value. I think in terms of a perfume enthusiast and connoisseur, I think my perfume of shame in my collection, it may well be Roses and Chocolate from Mancera, in the sense that it's heavily synthetic, it's heavily uninspiring, I guess. It smells a bit cheap, maybe. I've got a soft spot for this scent. I've had a bigger bottle of this and I've sold it years ago. Then I repurchased a bigger bottle, a partial, and then I sold it again. And I thought, no, I keep going on and off it, and then I miss it. So I found myself a 60ml, which is a great size, really. And I think it's discontinued now. So it's one to keep hold of and just use for either a perfume or as reference, or even around the house, because it's quite a nice perfume around the house. It's very simple. It's a powdery chocolate with a soapy kind of rose. It's an unusual mix. There's something simple and pleasing and easy and just enjoyable about this little scent. So, you know, perfume of shame, that's debatable, but that's all I've got for that answer, really. The next two questions I really struggle with because, again, it takes a bit of research and understanding of your perfumes to answer them. It's favourite synthetic molecule and then a favourite natural material. I don't know, because I don't think I know what I'm smelling. I really don't know. I'm really sorry. I think most of my perfumes are mostly synthetic. And whether they're rose or patchouli or violet, I don't know what makes those accords. I don't know really what they're made up of. So I don't know what's my favourite. My least favourite synthetic molecule, accord, is cashmerein, I've discovered. Ambroxan is pumped through most scents these days. I don't mind it if it's not too strong. And as for a natural ingredient, I feel like I should be saying rose here, but I've noticed that if ever I've smelt a natural rose oil, it's always been too bitter or too potpourri or too medicinal. So I can't say that it's my favourite in my experience of smelling it. I'm going to go for my least favourite natural in material. And I'm going to go with heliotrope. And here's where I'm assuming what I've smelt in the past has been natural heliotrope. But as a flower, I don't know if it's an accord, as a material and a note, let's say. Heliotrope is what has ruined a lot of fragrances for me. And it's taken me time to realise that. I love violet, I love iris, I love almond. Now those notes are generally always paired, if you're doing a floral, they're always paired with heliotrope. Be paired with violet to soften it out and make it into more of a powdery light feel. Heliotrope is with iris to emphasise that soft, delicate sort of purpley smell. We put it with almond because heliotrope is technically a sort of soft almond smelling flower, so it can be paired with that to sort of boost that smell. The way I smell heliotrope, anything that's got a heavy dose of it ends up smelling to me like nappies or baby wipes. and it gives the other three notes, iris, violet and almond, and other things as well, a horrible edge. A big example of this is Rose Cherie from Guerlain. In theory, that should have been a fragrance I love. It's rose, it's violets, I think there's iris in there. It's a powdery, lipsticky kind of smell. Because of the heliotrope in that, I got this edge around everything that smelled like nappies. So heliotrope is the culprit for that. So that is my answer to that question. So next question we have, which 3 samples did you last test on skin, not paper? And did you buy any of them? Did you purchase any of them? So the last 3 samples I tested on paper. I've got 2 of the samples here. The other one I have sent back to my friend John because he sent it to me. So I've got a sample here from Claire Smith, Dr. Claire, she's got a channel here on YouTube, and she very kindly sent me some samples of things that I really wanted to try. One of which was Aura from Mugler. I wanted to revisit it. It makes me think of the damp, like a green dampness. It's very weird. But there is cashmere in here, which I do get as it dries down, which is a shame. But overall, it's actually quite an interesting little scent. Beautiful bottle on those. And also I tried one of the new Dries Van Nortons called Chamomile Satin. There's an element I do really enjoy in here. It's the vanilla content, honeycomby almost. But the chamomile and the more herbal quality in this scent does not work for me at all. It's very medicinal. It's all to the point where I'm opening up a medical, drugs cabinet, and you've got like that biscuity vanilla behind it as well. It's very weird. And I think on the right skin, this will smell really lovely. So that's Chamomile Satin. And then the third one is De Profundis from Serge Lutens. So obviously I've mentioned that Serge Lutens is a house that I'm really excited to start trying more of. And I heard Cherie from the Top Note talking about De Profundis, that's how you say it, De Profundis. And I got a sample from my friend John, and I wasn't sure at first. It smelled like a very soapy, vintage floral kind of a smell. And I started to really get into this scent, and I actually found it quite nice. And it made me feel uplifted somehow. Managed to seek out a bottle on eBay. So yes, this did turn into a full bottle. I'm obsessed with this beautiful purple liquid in this bottle. It has a slight gothic somberness, I guess, if you're really reaching, but it's a very organic, true representation of chrysanthemum in a vase of water. In fact, for me, it's more about the petals floating on the water. It's really very petally. There's a slight soapiness, there's a slight greenness. It's a really beautiful, true floral. It smells organic, which means it really doesn't smell like there's anything unnatural. There's nothing like cashmere or ambrox in. So I really appreciate this scent. I think that was a full bottle that I purchased from a sample that I tested on my skin. The next question I haven't written down, I've just written the answer, so now I've got to try and figure out what the question was. I think it was, which perfume made you change your mind about a certain material you didn't appreciate? I think that was roughly what the question was. And I think I've already covered this with the note which I tried earlier, and that is patchouli and Coromandel. Again, I've never really hated patchouli. It was something you just put up with because they've had to use it to bulk something out or to give it a bit of welly. Coromandel is the most beautiful representation of a patchouli. Well, I don't think it's a patchouli I've ever smelled before. It's powder heaven. It's a woody. It's both powdery and creamy. Powdered, luxurious wood heaven. You've got bright aldehydes, and I think there's some fruits in the openings. There's a bit sharp and almost a bit of medicinal in the opening. The opening is something you need to get through to appreciate this beautiful dry down, and it's changed my mind on how I perceive patchouli in general, like how to recognize it and the qualities, and just being open to trying things that might be patchouli in the name. I understand why people call it a masterpiece. It's just the most beautifully combined notes with the white chocolate. I do get that in here though. It's very powdery and dry, but it's really good. It's just stunning, this scent, really stunning. So yeah, that's my answer for the question that I'm not even sure what it was. Next question is, what's your opinion on longevity and projection, and do you have a preference? Opinion on longevity and projection is relaxed at best. There has to be some value in longevity. You're spending money on a perfume to smell nice. If it disappears after an hour, then it's not fair, is it, the money that you spent? I wouldn't want anything to last for more than a day, and I'd prefer them to last for more than a couple of hours. So if something I enjoy is lasting around 6 hours, then I'm quite happy. So in my opinion, if you've got a perfume that is literally pumping and killing everybody's noses around you, there's going to be a lot of stuff in there to do that, which might not be very natural. Headache inducers. I steer away from perfumes that smell crazy strong. Obviously, there are exceptions. You can have beautiful smells that are very strong. My preference for projection is mild to moderate. I guess the word is modest. If I'm going out, and I want a bit more confidence and I want a bit more, I'll just overspray whatever my perfume of choice is, or maybe layer a couple. So longevity, I think, is more important than projection. That's just my opinion. So question 10 is list 3 perfumers that you like, know of, and can recite without looking up their names. 3 that I would say straight away that I can think of and know their work. 2 of the 3 are ones I actually interact with on Instagram and I'm more familiar with, and I bought their perfumes and I enjoy them. One is Liz Moos from Papillon Artisan Perfumes. Very interactive, posts so many lovely photos of her perfumes, her family, her day-to-day activities. So it's very easy to feel that you know her a little bit more, because she's posted a lot of photos about nature, her animals, which I love. Very hands-on, outdoorsy person, and that comes through into her perfume. Example of her perfume here, I have Ipona, beautiful olfactory tribute to the love of her horses. Her horse, she said horses, but she has one now, I think. It's so true to, if you ride horses, if you've been around horses and you love that environment. The scent of a horse's skin, its warm breath on you, its aura, just everything about it. She's captured that like a magic in a bottle. She uses the most beautiful orris butter in her fragrances. There's definitely some of that in here. Makes it buttery and addictive. There's violet in here. I'm not familiar with saddle soap, but again, I do recognise a dry, strong, almost like coal soap sort of smell. And I love how it balances out with everything else. It's such a beautiful scent. It's my absolute favourite so far from Papillon. And obviously Liz Moos is the perfumer. So that is one example. The second perfumer I want to mention is Vita from Rosa Salis. Again, a really fabulous person that I interact with on Instagram. He goes above and beyond to make sure that you're happy with your purchase, to interact. He's just a really lovely guy, and I purchased so many fragrances from Vita. I'm going to talk about Amethyst actually. I used to talk about Bonfire, but Amethyst I've come back to recently because it's the season. It's the autumn season, and this is a lovely plummy tobacco cinnamon spicy scent. I believe it was inspired by Herod. Cinnamon is my favourite spice, and there's a lot of it in here, and it's so lovely. And it's honey. It's definitely honey. It almost smells a bit appley. It's a really beautiful one for the autumn. And then the last perfume, I think it's the first one of what most people think of, Francis Kurkdjian. It's the first one that came to mind. It's a little bit too obvious. Example here from Francis Kurkdjian is Oud Satin Mode, because it is my favourite from his own brand. If I'm going anywhere fancy or just going out, I'm gonna pull for this one every time. Sweet vanillic rose, beautiful whimsical violets, a touch of medicinal oud in there. It makes for a very opulent, velvety, plush, sweet rose scent. I always think of a blue velvet rose when I smell this, and I absolutely adore it. I still adore it, and it is my favourite from the house. So that is that, and that is Francis Kurkdjian. Question number 11, what is your favourite perfume to lift your spirits? And one particular, I think it's my favourite from Chanel. It is from their Les Eaux collection, and it is Paris Edinburgh. At first glance, it's a very light green, fresh, fruity, woody, mossy, spritz, light fragrance. Second glance, more elements come out. There's an irisy, buttery element. There's something in here that's so nostalgic. Something hiding behind all the fresh, vibrant, living elements in here. It's mossy, it's woody, it's a bit fruity. It's even got a slight soapy, like a dry, deep, serious soapy edge to it. They create this bright, green, vibrant woodland that's whimsical. There's probably some green fairies buzzing around. There's moss-covered stumps and dewy mushrooms and ivy growing up the trees. It's all that lovely image. It's not a woodland in autumn or winter. This is a fresh, vibrant summer or spring day. This is the fresh, zingy, zesty, uplifting, living interpretation of the style of scent that I've been really enjoying. Does it lift my spirits? Yes, it does, every time. So that is Edinburgh from Chanel. So the last question, number 12, what motivates you to keep filming perfume videos, and who? Not a lot these days. I think it's just time, motivation, inclination. When I watch people that I'm familiar with on YouTube that I've always enjoyed, people like Amy loves perfume. She doesn't do many videos anymore, but I still go back and binge watch all of her beautiful videos. She's so easy watching, just is relaxing to listen to. She's very natural. She doesn't over explain anything. She just tells you what she loves. I've always enjoyed Lola's Scents. Again, that's someone else who doesn't make as many perfume videos anymore, but they have their own style. And when I watch these sort of videos that I really enjoy, that I can really immerse myself into them, that's when I get that little buzz of, oh, I want to talk about something that I love as well. A few people that I still chat to on Instagram Instagram that we discuss perfumes and we just catch up through the day, get motivated by their ideas and their perfume videos or their posts. And they keep it relevant. They keep relevant day by day, particularly Jon Snow, who I have got very close to. We get on very well. I think I chat to him probably every single day at this point for the last, 4 years. I think we pretty much got into this perfume hobby around about the same time. We started chatting on one of Claire Smurfy Girlie's live videos, I think it was. And we just started chatting, and his name was Jon Snow, and at the time I discovered Game of Thrones, and I thought, his name isn't Jon Snow, he's made that up, because we were talking about Game of Thrones. And I said, my first line to him was, is that your real name? Luckily he didn't write me off as a massive idiot. Both have quite a cynical outlook on things and quite a dry sense of humour, and a lot of interests are very similar. So he's always been very encouraging, motivating, and lets me know that my perfume videos aren't crap, basically. He enjoyed it, and it's become a regular thing. So I do the same for him, and we sort of give each other critiques over various things that we're creating, and it's just, that's a massive motivational thing. And if he tags me in a video like today's one, he generally always tags me, which is very kind because I'm terrible at getting back on tag videos. I'm very grateful to him, so thank you, Jon, for the support. But anyway, I was hoping this video was going to be quite short. I think it's ended up being quite a long one, so let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. The tag is open. Obviously they're quite technical questions, some of these, so I don't want to pin anyone down. If you enjoy the content here, you enjoy the questions, then by all means feel free to do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, over and out.